Here comes the sun, ready today. It's all right.
The post-budget dawn attracted the usual cast of publicity-seeking protesters.
We've got a climate crisis.
And politicians to the lawns of Parliament.
It's not about me, it's about the sun, and the lighting.
But this morning, the two main men were missing.
Morning to you.
PM, good morning to you.
Good morning, Charles.
PM, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Fearing disruption, the Prime Minister and his Treasurer
Good morning, Michael. Nice to be with you.
started selling their new fiscal strategy from the safety of a closed-off courtyard.
And this budget is about securing that recovery because it can be risked, it can be lost.
The basic message is the economy remains fragile after its bout with COVID-19 and in need of medicine in the form of spending to keep it strong.
Australia has been hit by an economic meteor.
Josh Frydenberg wants to focus on the many budget beneficiaries and the billions flowing to fund aged care, tax cuts for low and middle income earners, tax write-offs for businesses and training to get several 100,000 more Australians back into work. But there's no getting away from the fact these books lock the nation into nearly $1 trillion in net debt. It marks a huge ideological U-turn for a coalition that's been repeatedly re-elected, railing against big government.
The debt truck on the road again.
And campaigning against its opponents' spending plans.
Labor's debt and deficit disaster.
The politics of debt now seems to have permanently changed.
Their credibility is shredded when it comes to those issues, given the campaign they've run for much of the last decade.
The opposition believes this big spending bonanza, which includes many measures it would have funded too, was put together with one eye on an election either later this year or early next, before some of the assumptions in the budget are properly tested. Away from Canberra, both major parties are aware voters increasingly crave a return to a pre-pandemic lifestyle.
Me and my son have been separated for nearly 2 years.
But international travel now doesn't look likely until mid-next year at the earliest, and even then restrictions will only be relaxed gradually.
I don't know how I feel about locking out all the other countries from being able to come to Australia.
The budget also assumes everyone will have access to a jab by around Christmas.
The Prime Minister has the call.
Though, after being pressed today, the Prime Minister insisted there's still no new hard target.
He may wish to fight me, Mr. Speaker, but I'm fighting this virus on behalf of the Australian people.
Scott Morrison's well aware the path out of this pandemic is likely to be long and bumpy and doesn't want to again be accused of overpromising and under-delivering when he next faces voters. James Glenday, ABC News, Canberra.
Let's go to political editor Andrew Probyn in Canberra. Andrew, the federal budget makes an assumption about when we will all be vaccinated. How important is that to our economic recovery?
Well, Juanita, of course it's critical. It's just about everything depends on the vaccine rollout, and not just on the health front. It'll guide when the international borders will be reopened, and that in turn will guide when we have migrants, tourists and international students coming here. And a vaccine rollout too would help to stop the snap lockdowns that have blighted the past year. Now, the budget itself says or assumes that a population-wide vaccination program is likely to be in place by the end of 2021. The Treasurer says that means 2 jabs by the end of the year for everyone. The Health Minister says 1 jab at least for everyone by the end of the year. Either way, we are millions of jabs from where we should be in the vaccination rollout. So the message to us all is, if we want life to be a little more normal as soon as possible, if you're offered a vaccine, take it.
And the opposition leader Anthony Albanese gives his budget reply tomorrow. How difficult is that going to be this year?
It's going to be very difficult because Josh Frydenberg's budget was a radical philosophical shift for the coalition. Bigger government, bigger social spending. The Treasurer says that at times of national crises there should be no constraints on ideology, but the constraints now are on Anthony Albanese because the budget does represent an incursion on traditional Labor territory, and his job now will be to use his budget reply speech to better define what the differences are between the ALP and the coalition. And some of his colleagues, Juanita, believe that this could be one of the most important speeches he ever makes as Labor leader.
Andrew Probyn speaking to us there from Canberra.